Hey guys, Dana Brandel here, Brandel Branding and the Digital Branding Solution. I wanted to talk today about the top 5 sales objections for SEO and digital marketing, and how to use objection handling to properly overcome them. We're going to call this the art of the pivot, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a few of the things I actually do to overcome objections and actually close deals. Now, the reason this is going to be value to you in sales, it's feast or famine based on exactly how we handle objections. The difference between a month of top ramen and steak is literally being able to close the deal. And I'm going to show you how I keep a 93% close ratio and use, again, the art of the pivot to overcome objections and actually close the deal. Now, this is definitely going to help you close for you that don't know me and why you should listen to the rest of this video. I currently hold over 1,000 3-pack Google Maps ranked keywords, most of which are for my lead generation or rank and rent sites. In 2 months on one of those rank and rents, I personally answered and pitched 3,987 calls. And in just a 2-month span, that resulted in 93% close rate and $25K in commission literally in my pocket. I was a top producer org-wide at Yelp for 2.5 out of the 3 years that I was there, and I closed just shy of $1 million before leaving the company. I've been through countless sales trainings with some of the country's top sales orgs, and have sold and closed almost every form of advertising currently available, and some that aren't currently available anymore. My SEO company works strictly with attorneys, all of which have increased their spend almost every month this year. Fun fact, I closed my first deal when I was 9 years old, and I've not gone a single month without a commission check. So real quick, before I get into the top 5 objections for SEO, rank and rent, and digital advertising, I want to give you guys a special offer. I want to help you guys close more. And I want to show you why 99% of my sales success comes directly from my ability to handle objections. So what I do is I want to ask you guys a question. Do you want to close more deals? If the answer is yes, what I'm going to do at the end of this video is I'm offering a free one-on-one. What I'm calling it is the objection pivoting sessions. So what it is free objection training. I'm going to give you guys a 15-minute meeting slot with me over the phone or video, your choice. I want you to bring your objections that we're not covering in the top 5, and we'll go over them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a customized plan and a customized script to actually go and use and counter that objection to close the deal. I'll tell you ways that I've probably had that objection and I've actually pivoted into a close. We'll develop that pivot plan to help you overcome, and we'll also uncover any problems that might be holding you guys back from closing massive amounts of revenue. At the end of the meeting, I'll actually email you over a customized plan and send it your way to help you close more deals afterwards. So either way, you click the link at the bottom at the end of this video, and you're going to walk away with the ability to close a deal that same day we have the meeting. So let's get into objection handling. I call this the art of the pivot because when I think about objection handling, it comes to almost a boxing match or a martial arts style. The way that I confront any kind of objection at the end of a call is with a pivot, punch, and then come in for a knockout. Now, let me break that down for you guys. Pivot 1 is to always come into the sales call with a compliment. You come in, when I actually start, I make sure that I'm prepared, and I have one thing that I like about their campaign, and I have one thing that I know I have a solution for and can bring value to them. So the pivot 1, it comes with a compliment on that one thing. Pivot 2 is to bring a value question to get them thinking. Pivot 3 is to take that value question and answer it with a new problem, which is your prepared problem or thing that's wrong. Now, this problem, usually you can word it to be centered around the objection that they currently have. Now, the punch, it comes up with a follow-up of either a value statement of why they need to talk to you or need your product, or a pain question of why in the world they're not currently already using it or have it. It comes to the knockout, which they have no choice but to set the appointment with you. Now, I say set the appointment because I want to make one thing very clear. And this is the biggest tip that I can give you guys is the open calls. You must sell the appointment, not the product. Unless you're a seasoned vet and can pitch right on the fly and have enough confidence to close every single deal you're talking to, your main goal should be to sell an appointment. You guys sell a digital product, you sell results, revenue, and people hitting a site. You need to be able to set a solid time up to where you can actually set the atmosphere, get them in front of a computer, and show them what you've done and what you can do. So biggest tip is sell the appointment. I use all objection handling to not sell a product, not puke all over them on the first call, but to literally get them thinking and get them wanting to sit down and actually talk to me. So again, the art of the pivot. Pivot 1, compliment. Pivot 2 is a value question. Pivot 3 is to create a problem having to do with their objection. Then comes the punch with a hook of either value or pain. The knockout is going to be setting up the appointment. So here we go. I'm going to go over the top 5 sales objections. Now, I've interviewed and asked a lot of different sales professionals, whether you're currently working for a company or you're a freelancer or SEO yourself. You can be selling rank and rent. I mean, you could be selling regular advertising or anything along those lines. And these things seem to be the most common objections. Now, the biggest one, and I'll start with number 1, is I can't handle or take on more business. For most, from what I'm told and what I've seen in the business, this is one that's actually a killer. I see people even hang up the phone before they look any farther into the question. So this is I'm going to show you guys the pivot. We're going to go ahead and use Bob here. He's a mechanic. And I'll show you exactly how I'd pivot around something like this and go right in for an appointment that would lead to a close. So a customer says, I can't handle or take on more business, trying to hang up the phone on you. You say, Bob, that's great. I've talked to most of your competition in the area, and none of them seem to be experiencing the level of success you currently are. I mean, if you've got that much business, you got to be doing something right. But quick question before I let you go, Bob. I know you're staying extremely busy, but are you staying busy with the most profitable clients possible? I only ask because I'm seeing that there's a ton of traffic in your area, but most of that traffic is finding you when they're looking for an oil change. Now, I know you can't take on more business right now, but I also know that the profit margin on these jobs is very small compared to, let's say, someone coming in and spending thousands on transmission repair. The reason I'm reaching out is I want to take 10 minutes today, and I'll show you how you can use your current website to target more people that are looking to get work done on their transmission and keep you making dollars, not cents. Does that make sense, Bob? I've got an available slot for you about 4 o'clock this evening. Should be right around your closing time. Now, if you break that down, like I said, you got the pivot, value question. We brought the problem, brought the solution, and then went ahead and went in with the close. Now, one thing to always remember, guys, is that customers are objecting the second they answer your call or the second they walk in the door. But you need to also realize that they haven't even heard you out most of the time. They don't know that there's a problem most of the time. So 99% of these first objections are literally just smoke screens. So with some clever pivoting, you can actually get your way through them. Now, once in a blue moon, you will get one of those calls where the client's got a credit card in their hand and they've literally been waiting for you, but those are way too few and far between. So when the DM answers the phone, just remember they have a million things going on from rent to payroll, and you're the last person they want to hear from. The fact that you're probably the 8th sales call this morning does not help either. So everything that they're throwing at you is a solid smoke screen to get you off the phone and let them move on with their day. So now's the perfect time when you get them on there to roll in with the punches and lead in with the heavy hook of value. Now I'll go over the next 4 here, and I'll do these quickly. You guys feel free to take the screenshots. Also, if you click on that link and sign up for the 15-minute one-on-one, I'll go ahead and I'm going to include this, plus another packet that'll actually help you have all these on a sheet, scripted out and built just for you. So now we have the common objection is number 2 is I have never advertised or I don't advertise. So objection and pivot situation. Obviously, you have a great business, Bob. And seeing so as you've survived solely on word of mouth, I don't know why I'm even calling in the first place. But honestly, I started thinking about it, and that's actually the reason I am calling, is because of your reputation. I saw that you have 2 other competitors with half the amount of reviews you do, with a way lower ranking and reputation, just showing up on search before you. You know I'd be mad, and I say this because I also don't advertise. My business survives solely on my reputation, but I tell you one thing, I do not work as hard as I do or provide my customers with such massive returns just so my competitors can swoop up all the business in the area. I mean, is that why you started? Of course, that's not why. I just wanted to schedule 15 minutes and show you how it is that when I Google your name, your competitors are literally paying money to be showing up right now. I'm actually not available this second. I'm kind of busy, but I have an availability at 2 and at 4 p.m. today. Does 2 or 4 work for you, Bob? Don't forget at the end of these to actually ask for a set time. Don't be afraid to ask for it. All right, top sales objection 3. And I'm sure you guys hear this one all the time. I have a guy. I got a guy, he's great. My cousin does my internet marketing. I have a marketing guy. Now, we need to bring the compliment onto the job that their marketing guy's doing right off the bat so they feel like they can let their guard down a little bit and they feel the smoke screen's already worked. So when they say I got a guy, it's very simple. Bob, so he says I got a guy and he's great. And I just let him know, yeah, that's great. Why wouldn't you be happy? I mean, your friend or family member is probably great at marketing, but I'm assuming by fine you have not seen this report I'm looking at. It is showing you got around X amount of traffic this month, which is great. But I actually right now have the same report for Bob down the street, and it looks like his guy hit the jackpot. He's got a guy too, but literally not only did he get triple the hits, but his conversion metrics are off the charts, and he's literally making cash hand over fist off the internet right now. But seeing as you're fine, I'm going to let you go. But quick question before I do though. Is your competitor's report showing how much business he got and exactly how he did it something your guy and you would want to see together? Let's get the 3 of us together, let's say this afternoon at about 2 p.m., and we can actually go over and review this report. Number 3 was simple, guys. We basically used our pivot to get in their competitor to catch them off guard and go ahead and show them. So when we sit them down, all you have to do is run a good SEM report, show them the couple top ranking in their area and how much traffic they're actually getting. All right, last 2. So got number 4. I get all my business from word of mouth. Word of mouth. So you need to agree with them on this one. And that's what's going to be the biggest pivot for you, is agreeing that word of mouth is the number 1 form of advertising and you're not. So I say, Bob, with a reputation like yours, I don't doubt that for a second. Word of mouth is hands down the number 1 form of advertising. I've owned multiple businesses and it has always been the same way for me. I tried all these different advertising methods and the only thing that really brought people in was word of mouth. I mean, you could literally grow and start a business off it, am I right? Now, there's one thing that I always said, and I'm sure you've thought this too, is if an advertising company could walk in and figure out a way to harness the power of word of mouth and get it to get more people in, I'd be all over it. I mean, again, word of mouth is what drives traffic straight through your door, correct? So here's my question, Bob. Why don't we want more people to hear that word of mouth? And that's honestly why I'm calling, because I can show you how to harness the power of your amazing website and great reputation to drive revenue and not just traffic through your door. Do you have a time slot available today at 2? It looks like I'm open then to talk for about 15 minutes, Bob. All right, guys, and the number 5 I left is the last one because it is the biggest smokescreen. I don't have a budget for advertising, or I don't have any more room in my budget, or no money. Now, you need to remember and come into this pitch and this close, you need to come in delicately, but at the same time, you need to know that it's a smokescreen, and you have the ability, if that is the case, to fix that problem. So, Bob, that's fine. With a business as great as yours, creating budgets should not be that big of a concern, honestly. But I'm actually glad you said that, because I'm going to be honest with you right now. Other advertising platforms are incredibly angry with me right now because we've developed a performance-based program. Do you know what performance-based program means, Bob? It means it is actually an advertising program paid based on results. We want to send the clients in to create the budget and deliver a return immediately after. This kind of program tends to create about a 3-to-1 return, Bob. I mean, if someone walked up to me and told me to give them $100 and they'd give me $300 back, I wouldn't be looking around for $100, but I would be looking around more and asking them what they could do with $1,000. Would you not? So let's talk about how this new form of marketing affects your business today and how it can provide a 3-to-1 return on your investment. Do you have time today at 3? The last thing, guys, to take away, remember, none of the first objections on the open call are real. They're all smoke screens, and some clever footwork will get you right through them. Put a little Conor McGregor in there, but I just want to remind you guys again, I want to give free objection training. 15 minutes on the phone or video meeting. You bring the objections, I'll show you how to pivot them. This is going to be a personalized sales script just for you to where you can memorize it and turn it into muscle memory. We'll also do a couple questions to see if we can uncover any other things that are holding you back from closing revenue. And I'm telling you guys, 15 minutes on the phone, you're going to walk away with the ability to close a deal the same day. So no charge, no strings attached. Let me help you. Go ahead and click the link. Put your name, email in, hit go, and it'll take you right over to the calendar where you're going to go ahead and pick the time that works best for you.